You ever see someone wield a clipboard like a weapon, eyes tight, mouth thinner than a fence wire, and just know deep down they get off on making folks miserable? That's Brenda Howcraft in a nutshell. President of the Magnolia Crest HOA, queen of the code citation, and absolutely convinced the rules were written just for her to enforce. Doesn't matter if you're 8 months pregnant and parked in your own driveway with the engine running. If she decides you're a problem, you're a problem. The morning this story starts, I was just trying to get my wife Leah home from a doctor's appointment. She was pale, sweating, hand pressed to her belly, and just needed a minute to breathe before climbing the porch steps. That's when Brenda marched over, brandishing her clipboard like a medieval shield and barking about Section 4C of the Community Parking Code. No unmoved vehicles, not even for medical reasons, not even if it's your own house. I stepped between her and the tow truck, quoting state law so fast even Brenda had to pause. You tow this car, you're violating Georgia code and risking a lawsuit. Vehicles occupied by a high-risk medical patient. You press that button, and I press charges. Brenda hesitated, but only for a second. Let me back up a sec. My name's Dan Reimer, civil rights attorney by trade, husband by luck, soon-to-be dad by miracle. Leah served 2 tours as a combat nurse and lost our first baby to complications. We fought like hell to keep this one. Every day, every meal, every appointment carefully managed. So, yeah, I was more than ready to take a stand when Brenda decided to make us her personal project. Sheriff Holden McRae pulls up in his cruiser right in the middle of our standoff. Brenda puffs up, ready to tattle, but the sheriff just tips his hat to Leah. You need anything, ma'am? Want me to shut down the street? Brenda's face goes from smug to ghost white so fast I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. The neighbors gather, phones out, whispering. For the first time since we moved in, I feel something shift. The bully isn't the only voice in the room anymore. Thing is, Brenda's crusade wasn't just about us. You look around Magnolia Crest, you start to see the pattern. A garden sign gets someone fined $150. A single mom gets written up for groceries left on the porch. A retired vet's hand-built swing is unapproved decor. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Make the rules fuzzy enough, and people stop pushing back. That's how she liked it. Order preserves peace. Compliance ensures harmony. All that crap written on flyers and posted to bulletin boards in her perfect cursive. But real order? That comes from fairness, not fear. After Leah's tow truck scare, violations started showing up every couple days. Shade cloths too wide, walkway tiles too long, idle medical activity in the driveway. I kept records, pulled out the original HOA charter we got when we bought the place. Guess what? None of Brenda's new amendments were in there. They weren't in the county records either. The more I dug, the clearer it got. She was inventing rules, backdating documents, calling secret votes with no quorum, and trying to run the place like her own little kingdom. Enter Tony Myers, the HOA's maintenance guy, clipboard carrier, reluctant enforcer. You could see in his eyes he hated every minute, measuring lawns and handing out violations he didn't believe in. But a man stuck long enough under a bully either breaks or bends. Tony bent for a while. Then he started wobbling. When Brenda asked him to print fake meeting minutes and doctor the charter, that was his line in the sand. He gave me a flyer, left it on my lawn like he'd accidentally dropped it. Magnolia Crest HOA Bylaw Amendment Proposal. Handwritten notes in Brenda's slanted blue ink. No signature, no timestamp, just a draft and the words, pass these before next filing deadline. Confirm quorum later if needed. Premeditation, plain as day. Leah's health kept sliding, stress climbing. That didn't slow Brenda down. For new violations, $3,000 in phantom fines, threats of a property lien. All of it designed to scare us into silence or get us to pack up and move. For a minute, I almost broke. Leah said, "It's not worth it. Let's leave." I couldn't do it. Not just because I'm stubborn, but because every neighbor who ever got written up for a wind chime or a welcome home sign deserved someone willing to push back. So I went to Marcella Conincade, the best HOA lawyer in town. Sharp, no nonsense. Coffee so bad you wonder if it's a test. She took one look at Brenda's fake amendments, compared them to the original charter, and smiled that slow lawyer smile. She's got no legal ground. Every fine she issued from those clauses is void. If she keeps pushing, file a cease and desist. Better yet, trap her in her own process. I drafted the letter that night. printed it on crisp legal paper, stuck it in the HOA mailbox myself. Next day, Brenda went into hiding, scrubbing the website, erasing evidence, sending out frantic emails about procedural maintenance. Tony cracked, too. Showed up on my porch, cap in hand, not as staff, but as a neighbor. "I've got everything," he said. "Emails, drafts, fake minutes." He handed me a flash drive and a witness statement already signed and notarized. That was the twist. Brenda's right hand was now my ace in the hole. You know what I mean? When the dam finally bursts, it doesn't trickle. It explodes. I filed a motion for board suspension, attached every fake document Tony gave me, cited every clause Brenda broke, every resident she harassed. Then I printed color copies and walked door to door. No speeches, no rants, just a simple question. "Do you want to come to the clubhouse Thursday night?" Not to be told the rules, but to ask who actually gave them to us. Thursday comes, clubhouse packed. More people than I've ever seen at one of these meetings, some standing, some just leaning in the doorway. Brenda tries to take charge. This is a procedural meeting. Discussion isn't on the agenda. I step forward. According to state law, all homeowners can propose agenda items with majority consent. Let's vote. Hands shoot up. Brenda's jaw tightens. Marcella sits quietly in the back, just watching. Then comes the real showdown. I project Brenda's own handwriting for the whole room. Her initials, her instructions to fake the vote, her compliance prioritization memo listing Leah and me as high-risk properties. The room goes dead silent. One by one, neighbors start speaking up. She fined me for landscaping I got approved years ago. My kid's skateboard was a hazard. The walls start closing in. Brenda tries to talk her way out, but she's already lost the crowd. Marcella stands up, cool as ever. "Miss Halcraftoft, you are advised not to destroy or alter any HOA records. A formal complaint has been filed." Brenda walks out. No words, no power left, the clipboard limp at her side. It wasn't anger I felt watching her go. It was relief, mixed with a little bit of pity. We voted that night, right there in the clubhouse. Hands up for transparency. Hands up for a fresh start. Amy, the single mom Brenda fined for a Halloween bat, nominated me as interim compliance chair. I didn't want it. I said I'd only serve until things got fixed, every policy public, every vote recorded, no more rules invented in the dark. The next week, we overturned 14 fake amendments, canceled over $20,000 in unlawful fines, tossed out 3 liens Brenda filed. Tony was offered an oversight role, not enforcement, and he took it. He even carved a new wooden sign for the office door. Community maintained by community consent. Leah and I sat on the porch swing that evening, listening to the creak and the hum of cicadas, her hand on her belly, our future a little less heavy. 2 weeks later, Leah went into labor. Early, but not dangerously so. Our daughter, Nora, came home to a hand-painted sign on the porch. "Welcome home, Nora," tied there by the same neighbors Brenda once tried to bully into silence. When I saw the swing, someone had sanded and sealed it, the old carvings deeper now, with a new line beside them. Protected, not permitted. And you know, I didn't do any of this alone. It was Tony, it was Marcella, it was every neighbor who finally decided enough was enough. Even Brenda, in her own way, made us stronger by forcing us to stand together. Now, if you've ever wondered if standing up to a bully is worth it, if pushing back against nonsense rules actually changes anything, let this be your answer. We didn't just save our swing. We saved our community. So tell me, was it worth it? Would you have fought or folded? Drop your story in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're tired of HOA bullies, stick around. You're already part of something bigger than rules. You're part of the fight.